for self-defense in Texas because Texas is a stand-your-ground state. This is what he had to say about that.
In order for Carmelo to prevail on a self-defense defense, he has to establish that he reasonably feared for his life. And, that's a steep hill to climb given the facts that I've heard so far, but that's the standard here in Texas. It is going to be incredibly difficult for Carmelo's defense team to establish that Austin, the 17-year-old who wanted Carmelo out of his tent, represented a deadly threat or even serious bodily harm. Now, again, we don't know what was said. We don't know what was threatened. But what Carmelo said was that he was going to put his hands on me. That's not he was going to kill me. That's not, I thought he was seriously going to hurt me. It was an offensive touching. All he described was the potential for an offensive touching, which is not going to be enough without more. And the evidence is still coming in.
Something like this that just evolved and snowballed, that's what it seems like to me, snowballed over something that may have just been some high school students getting into some type of disagreement. And so the issue is that once that disagreement again begins to snowball, what is appropriate for self-defense? Whenever we're into just a oral disagreement, then that transfers over to a physical disagreement. How does it transfer then to a knife? And so, and under Texas law, you have to provide equal or lesser value, generally, so force, whenever we're talking about self-defense. Is it reasonable and is it proportionate to that of what the perpetrator initiated before? Because in this situation, the suspect is stating he told the other person pretty much don't touch me. And that person did in fact touch him, and then he pulled out a knife. So yes, maybe there was some issues there where we talked about physical altercations, but that doesn't give you the right or the responsibility to respond back with a knife. It has to be reasonable and proportionate.
To address the racism and the bigotry, we have saw the police chief, a statement being sent out by the police chief that was false. We have saw a false autopsy report that was false. We have to caution the community to say, hey, we cannot trust everything that is online. The disinformation that is going online is hurting this case, and it has to stop. It has to stop, y'all. As we know it right now, Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony did not know each other.
Apparently his brother come over to Carmelo. Words are exchanged, and he says they tried to swing at him. Carmelo goes to his bag, and then they pursue. They continue on.
It was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up. McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away.
this?
It was a community
black guy.
track
He was
meet,
there?
bruh. It wasn't a school track meet.
Hell no.
So he had.
You don't think he was there?
No, hell no.
The
I don't
nigga
think he
just
was
said
there.
the
He
track
just said
meet.
it wasn't a school track meet. He's lying. As soon as I saw this on the internet, I said, this is a lie. People, bro.
Wait,
people
he
wanna
didn't
believe
say
anything.
that. He said he wasn't on school grounds. He said this wasn't
He
a
said,
track meet. I
yeah,
didn't
he
hear
said
that.
that. He
He
just
said
said that at
this
the
wasn't
end.
on the school grounds.
He said this
is
wasn't
at
on school grounds. He didn't say
It was on
wasn't
school
a track.
grounds.
He admitted it was a track meet. He said he was there for his daughter.
But that is school grounds.
No, that is school grounds.
But he
I'm
said-
saying,
Listen to what he said.
Run
no,
it
he
back.
said,
Listen to what he said.
teach you
then.
that that is
Physically went over there to intentionally. He had to. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It
5
was
to
a
10
whole.
miles
It was
away.
community track meet, bruh. It wasn't a school track meet.
Wasn't a
So he
school
had
track
the.
meet. He's lying.
He just said it was a
He's
community
lying.
track meet.
Everything
not
he
a
just pulled out
school
his
track
ass.
meet.
He could barely
Oh,
form
debunked. He was
He
not
could barely
there.
form a intelligent
Why would he
sentence.
sit there? Why would
They
he
tried
lie
to jump
like
on
that?
dude,
Bruh.
bro. They tried to beat him up, bro. I was there, bro.
I was
Believe
watching.
me,
I
bro.
was watching my kid.
I don't believe nothing he say, bro.
No, that's crazy.
He couldn't
He
say-
wild.
he
He
couldn't
said
tell
it
me-
wasn't a school track meet. He said it was. Schools are not at the. What does that mean?
Yeah, nah,
it's
he's
not
done.
a school
Yeah,
track meet. It is a
everything he
high
said-
school track meet by definition.
Everything he said is
Everything he
literally-
said is wrong. If you go to a track meet
Incredible.
hosted at a school, there's a sign. There are no weapons
Right.
allowed.
And everyone knows who went to high school. They teach you if you go to any type of sporting event for the school, that is school grounds.
Yes.
So you're gonna be in trouble like you're at school.
Facts. You fight at a track meet, you suspended from school.
Do you want to know what happens when someone doesn't have an argument? When someone doesn't have a rebuttal, what do? They just laugh. And I want you to see this clip by this Sambo soldier who thinks I don't know what he was doing in this clip, but he absolutely makes a fool of himself. It's always going to be a different story than the main story that the racist right tries to promote. Always going to be a different story. When people talk about you can't use lethal force is in the eye of the beholder, right? It's the same thing we have when it comes to an officer, that they fear for their lives. It can't be in hindsight. It has to be taken into account of what happened at that time. So if Anthony is being attacked, he's already been assaulted, and you have two people, it's 2 versus 1, in addition to them being completely outweighed. He's outweighed by them, right? They weigh 200 something pounds or whatnot. Anthony's a very skinny kid. Then yes, a lawyer could absolutely argue that he had reasonable belief that he was going to have not immediate imminent death, because it's not imminent death, but also a serious bodily injury. Those are two factors that come into play. So if he absolutely believes that he's going to incur serious bodily injury, then yeah, pulling out a knife to defend yourself is absolutely reasonable. It's absolutely can be seen as self-defense.
Wow. Honestly, what can you say at this point? I only can laugh. At this point, okay? They don't care. But let me actually stop there. They're not intelligent enough to understand the law, right? But even if they were intelligent enough to understand the law, they don't care to understand the law. They don't want to understand the law. And at this point, they're only defending Carmelo Anthony because he's black.
I mean,
This is always they say. It wouldn't be legal. You're at a school event.
Now you tell me, did you hear a rebuttal? Did you hear a retort? Did you hear any type of refutation of what I said? Of course not. Because these are the race baiters, okay? These individuals on the right, these Sambo soldiers, are the race baiters. They are race baiting their white audience to be upset at something you should not be upset at.
Now, I want you guys to understand how much of a piece of shit this dude is, because he got that so-called pro-black boot so far up his ass that it's coming out his mouth and he ain't doing anything but spewing lies and bullshit. In fact, he probably likes the boot up his ass. He probably doesn't even notice because he's probably used to it, to be honest with you, having things up there. But anyways, this dude.
He played the evidence at the beginning, what the lawyers are saying. And I watched Bruce Rivers, and he said the same thing.
Bro, we knew from day one that there's no claim here. You cannot be in someone else's area. That's rule number 1. Number 2, if they ask you to leave, all you have to do is walk away. The witnesses say he reached in his bag and said, touch me and see what happens. Well, now you're the threat. Now you're making threats. Now you're no longer the victim.
What the law in Texas is, you have to,
Lawyers just explained it to us.
like the law of Texas say you have to be in a threat.
We done looked it up.
It's crazy, bro.
It's not a
I just don't
appropriate response to the threat.
Not at all.
If I push anyone here right now, even if I push them hard as I can, if they stab me,
That's crazy.
like,
That
bruh,
is insane.
I feel like they're making every excuse in the book. Like also,
But I think
every
what-
angle people take, they're making an
I
excuse.
think what really happened, bro, is like everybody went so extreme. It's just like they made it bigger than what the actual case is.
Like I just wish people would look at the facts and like let's really figure out exactly what happened instead of making all these assumptions. That's what's pissing me off. They're automatically making him seem like he the hero, and I don't understand that when somebody died from this situation. Like they're acting like there was no wrong in this.
See, the thing is,
That's why I'm
that is
confused.
very annoying. But I mean, in the eyes of the law, I believe still he's getting charged. So that's what's gonna happen at the end of the day. I think.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
based
then-
on what all the lawyers are saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a lawyer, I don't know. But I've listened to now 3 lawyers, and all 3 of them said the exact same argument.
Yeah.
So
And-
if that's what the professionals
So,
are
exactly.
saying.
And now the next thing is just figuring out what exactly happened. Now some people are believing the witnesses that have came forward, and some people are not. So now we just have to figure out.
Nothing's changed since the police
that
report's
wouldn't
been
change
written.
anything
I've told y'all that
for the
since
response.
We read the
Yeah.
police report.
So-
It's 3 different witnesses.
How does it go from a
report.
physical, like she said, how does it
So
go
they still,
from
like,
the
bringing-
snowball effect, from a verbal argument to a physical argument to a life or death
Situation.
You know?
I don't know.
I mean, they're going to bring in the witnesses from the police report. And if they do, Melo done.
No, yeah.
I
True.
said from day one, he's done.
Yeah, like as far as the evidence we have right now, he's cooked. He's
Bro,
over with.
Like, there's no self-defense
Like so all
that
this.
would require you to stab.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, all this extra stuff that
Ridiculous.
people are coming up with. I'm just like, if people are willing to lie about this, that's almost like a mental illness. Or if you're willing to lie about this.
It's just like a tribalism. It's like a tribalism mentality, bro. It's like they just feel like because
Like wrong
people
is
are
wrong.
saying this is the way, so this is the way.
I'm
That's
just-
basically what it is.
Both sides is going
Wrong is
crazy.
wrong.
Both sides has been very extreme about this case. I'm gonna keep it 100.
No, they are.
This
No,
is
and
getting out
it's
of
not.
hand.
And it's
It's
not
getting way
right,
out
but
of hand.
It's getting way out of hand at this point.
It's been out of hand.
I understand people outraged, but it have been getting very crazy on the internet. Personally, what I have seen.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think all the race baiting turns to a race war is ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like we should not be too divisive.
I mean, I know Buddy going to jail. He's finna get charged with something.
So we just gotta let the law do its thing at this point. That's what I think is the best for everybody to do.
probably plenty of black people like my father even said Carmelo was completely wrong.
It's a lot of people
it's
say
people
that.
that's just on the side of what's right and that's it. Not white, black. That's what's pissing me off. The Daniel Penny thing, to me, that wasn't white or black. But he was an offender on the train.
Yeah.
He was a trained offender. So
Yeah.
like, and everybody felt threatened on the train. So I mean, I just don't get where these arguments are coming from.
And it's just like, why? Where is this outrage on a regular weekend in Chicago?
Yeah,
Or
that's
in
why I'm
Dallas
just like,
itself.
and now that a white kid died, y'all all just saluting this. Like that's why I didn't want to say it, but I understand white people's outrage behind that because they're not. It seems like black people aren't on the side of what's right. Let's not figure out the real facts. They're making up facts to support an argument that might not even be there. So that's why I understand the outrage. It's wrong for both sides. But
I've seen some crazy.
No,
shit,
I have
man.
seen some crazy shit. I have seen some crazy shit.
Like, to be honest with you, before I seen the other side, like the black community stuff, I have seen some crazy shit on the right side. Like I have seen.
Yeah, no, I have.
I'm gonna keep it.
No, I have. But it's
I ain't gonna say
a
everything.
kid died at a track meet, but it's not right. Man, there's just so much going on in the world. So I mean, it's hard to say.
I can
is they
understand
outrage really wrong?
I can understand.
I'm gonna be real.
I can understand everybody outraged.
I'm gonna be real. I do, man. I do.
It's just a tough situation that went on, and both families got impacted by this. So
I'm sorry. We're not just saying our community. Well, I can't say that we're not known for violence, but when we when people look at us on the news and if we're doing violence, and then a kid dies at a track meet, a school event.
yeah, it looks bad.
It looks very, very,
It
very,
does.
very,
It
very,
looks
very,
bad.
very insane.
It
to
do.
the point where it's just like we result to violence in the smallest amount of conflict.
Yeah,
It looks very bad.
It reinforces.
But
yeah.
no, people on the right shouldn't be saying we should hang to the Alabama on the back, and they shouldn't be saying no shit like that. Yes,
No,
that's
that's
wrong.
fair. No, I understand.
But you know,
I understand the outrage.
when a kid die and then they treating him like he Martin Luther King, I cannot be mad at that shit.
I just don't get the people treating them like that. Like
I can't be. Want to be real.
And all these things happen
No, I
every
understand.
weekend
I
in
can't.
all these communities, and they don't
wrong.
say nothing. And now this is what you speak up about.
That's why
that does not make sense to me.
I can't
bro.
be mad at one side.
Like
for
you
being
just
overly
can't.
mad.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I
I'm
can't
gonna keep
be.
it
I'm
100.
sorry.
No,
We don't.
I'm just
There's
saying.
no outrage like this when this happens every weekend in these places, bro.
And it's just hard for us to say, you know, well, maybe the people that's taking up for Carmelo, y'all right. Because we can't say that because they were at a track meet. If it was, we just can't. Until further, more evidence is brought to the table. As of right now, we can't say that, bro. They was at a track meet.
They got the videos.
Point blank, period.
They got the video.
Well, they need to release it. As of right now, he's cooked.
I don't think
And
they'll
everybody,
release those.
and the people that knows what happens at a track meet dies at a school event.
The father being at this press conference. These are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Next Generation Action Network from the beginning has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it, we have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked. We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of life. I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research. Because as a person who is the administrator of Yet Children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off.
Our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Carmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.